The Buddy Show, hosted by me! And today we have a special co-host, my little puppy, Bourbon! We tried to fit the hat on him, but it didn't work out. And now today we will be going over our third set of playoffs, the NHL playoffs. And now we start with the Eastern Conference. And the way the NHL has their playoffs set up, where the top 4 seeds play in a round robin to determine their final seeding, while the other 8 teams fight to make the playoffs. Now, for the top 4, I have the Bruins winning the round robin, the Lightning taking in second, the third spot will open up to the Capitals, and the 4th will be the Flyers. Now, let's look to the first actual knockout game between the 8 seed Maple Leafs and the 9 seed Columbus Blue Jackets. And the winner of that, I believe, will be the Columbus Blue Jackets. Last year, they completely swept the first seed Lightning. I think they've got a thing for being good in the playoffs when it's clutch, and I do think they will beat the Leafs. Now, we go on to the 5 versus the 12 seed, which is the Penguins versus the Canadiens. Now, I do think the Penguins are good and good and good. And I also think the Canadiens are good because they have fought all this year just to be the 12 seed because the Eastern Conference is very good. But at the end of the day, the Penguins have more experience, which is why I will be choosing them. Now we move to the Islanders, which is the 7 seed, and the 10 seed Florida Panthers. Now, I believe that the Islanders are good and the Panthers are good. So this is a very tough decision. But because of the Islanders' defense, I'm going to have to choose them. And then we move on to the Hurricanes against the Rangers. The Hurricanes have not put up the kind of season most people expected, and neither have the Rangers. But I believe the Canes will walk out of here doing better. And I know you can't see that because the paper smeared it. But the Hurricanes last year went on a huge playoff run, which is exactly why they will defeat the Capitals. Even though the Capitals have Ovechkin and all these great experienced players, they won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. I think that the Hurricanes know when to get hot, and they get hot when they get hot. Then we have the 2 seed Lightning against the 7 seed Islanders, and I believe the Lightning will take that run as revenge for their last postseason, which was a 4-0 sweep when they were arguably the best team ever in the history of NHL. But then we move on to the 4 seed Flyers against the Penguins. This is a great matchup. It's the 4 versus 5. And the Penguins, they are experienced. They are doing well. Flyers, they're young. They're doing even better. But in playoffs, experience is what counts. And I'm going to go with the Penguins. Then we go to the number 1 seed, Bruins against the number 9 Blue Jackets. And most people, you're thinking, I'm going to go with the team that it just went 4-0. But I think the Bruins are so dominant on here. So dominant. They are so amazing. They can beat you anyway. They'll just pass, score. It's crazy how good they are. And that's why they will also beat the Penguins to get to the semifinal of the Stanley Cup. In between the Lightning and the Hurricanes. The Lightning, they are doing so well. I really do think they're trying to make it up for last year's postseason. But I believe the Carolina Hurricanes are going to defeat the Lightning in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. In between the Bruins and the Hurricanes. Hurricanes going hot off of a great couple series, but the Bruins are going to be the more dominant team, making the Stanley Cup 2 times in a row. Now we look on the other side of the board. And out of the 4-team round robin, we have the Blues placing first, the Avs placing second, the Stars placing third, and the Vegas Golden Knights placing fourth. And as you can see, I couldn't really shorten Golden Knights into anything but their actual initials. Now we move on to the head-to-head knockout matchups. The 8 Flames against the 9 Jets. the Flames. The reason I'm not going to pick them here, I'm going to pick the Jets, and most people would think that's weird because the Flames are known for being good in the playoffs. But the Jets, they are in a division where they could either be the 1 seed in the wild card, they're like the 4th best in the whole, they're the 5th best, in the whole Western Conference, but they barely made the wild card. It's crazy because the Central Division in the Western Conference is so much better than the Atlantic. That's why most of my picks are going to have the Central Division beat the Atlantic Division. And then we move on to the Oilers versus the Hawks, the Blackhawks, not the actual Hawks. But I do believe the Oilers and the Blackhawks earned this, or not necessarily earned it. The Blackhawks weren't doing very good, and I do think they really do have a chance against the Oilers, who were going kind of slow at the end of the year, but I do think the Oilers are going to win that one. And then we move on to the Canucks versus the Wild. And what's crazy about this is whoever wins this is going to play the Avs. And the Wild hate the Avs, and I think that's going to motivate them to get to the Avs. And then we move to the Predators versus the Coyotes. Coyotes really didn't do very good this year, even with Taylor Hall. And the Predators did, again, okay. But the Predators are in the Central Division. Coyotes are in the Atlantic Division. That is some of the reason why I'm going to pick the Predators. And then we have the Stars against the Predators. And I'm going to pick the Predators. And the main reason I'm doing this, at the end of the year, the Stars did pretty terrible. They were about to give up their lead leading to their 3rd place in the Central Division, which is a pretty big thing to give up. They were up like 14 points, which is about 7 wins, and they almost blew it completely. That's why I think the Predators, who almost caught them, are going to beat them. Then we have the Avs versus the Wild. Huge rivalry, big deal. But I think the better team, Avs, are going to win. And it's very smeared, sorry about that. Then we have the Vegas Golden Knights against the Oilers. And the reason, so we have Vegas Golden Knights. They made the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. They've been a dominant team. They even made the top 4 overall. And then you look at the Oilers. I don't think they are better than the Vegas Golden Knights, but they are playing at their home stadium in Edmonton because it is one of the hub cities. So that is why I'm taking the Oilers over the Golden Knights. Then we move on to the St. Louis Blues against the Winnipeg Jets. I think this is going to be a crazy close series, and nobody's going to expect that. It's going to be close head-to-head the whole time, and in the 7th game, the Blues will come victoriously. Then we move on to the Blues versus Oilers, and I really think this is going to be a blowout, either 4-0 or 4-1. I do think the Blues will beat the Oilers easily. And then we move on to Avs versus the Predators. The Avs in 2 Stanley Cup finals ago, or not finals, but playoffs ago, the Avs beat the Predators, complete underdog. And I think the Predators are hungry for a comeback against them. But the Avs are the better team. The Avs finished 2nd in the Western Conference when their starting goalie, defenseman, their second best forward was out basically the whole year when they really were good. Now they got all their injured players back, and that's why I think they're going to make it to the semifinals against the Blues. And now this is the game that they've all been waiting for. And the Blues are just a fantastic team. They made it to the Stanley Cup Finals last year against the Bruins and won it all. And the Avs, the up-and-coming Avs who've made the playoffs the last 2 years, one of the youngest teams in the game, is going to beat the Blues. And now, the winner between the Avs and the Bruins in a 7-game win will be the Rookie of the Year runner. They're gonna win! This has been the Buddy Show. Thanks for watching, and happy hockey!